kind of scenario. And you have Poppy for tower dives, you have Jarvan for tower dives, you have Galio for tower dives. Like, I feel like Wunder is going to get attacked.
All right, so let's see whether or not Wunder gets into trouble. It's going to be a difficult setup for him if Kikis can have that same level of early game impact.
And you know what? I really feel like I saw Poppy jungle in competitive play as well, but I can't remember where.
Well, you're going to have to find some research for me. I believe we're about to get ready. Medic has another backstage interview.
Thank you very much, Trevor. I'm joined by Yamato Cannon. Now, Yamato, Poppy jungle is not something we've seen in a very long time in the EU LCS. What made you pick it up here in a vital match?
I actually fucked up. I picked Poppy. I wanted to play top, like Vichisachi inspired me, and then we had to just put a jungle. It was a mistake.
And how do you think that's going to affect your players going into this game?
It's fine. It's just I threw an extra challenge in there to make sure that you know, we're prepared for playoffs.
Well, hopefully they can deal with the challenge. Good luck in the game, and back to you, Quickshot.
I cannot say thank you enough, Yamato. A rare moment.
Interesting.
In professional League of Legends play.
I found the Poppy jungle game. It was in LCS.
Did it win?
And I actually played it, and I believe he won with it, yes, against... it was against Echo Fox. So 100 Thieves managed to win with it. I actually remember the game now. People were talking about, oh my god, this guy pulls out Poppy jungle and looked really good on it. So that's where we've seen it in competitive already. Kikis will now have to do it. We don't even know if he's gotten to practice it.
And once again, of course, Yamato actually mentioning how it was a mistake in the draft. He was hoping to get it top lane, needed to pivot in the last minute. And let's see what sort of impact this has on Vitality. Now, of course, Kikis is a player that has been known historically for playing a lot of different champions, a lot of unique champions. I don't think it'll be outside his realm of control or expertise.
No, but it's something to follow.
What does it do in terms of how he likes to play? Kikis is a counter-jungling jungler. He likes to get into the enemy jungle. How will Poppy into Gragas do in that sort of situation?
It definitely feels less like a counter-jungle pick and a lot more like a ganking in the early game towards the side lane, not mid lane, because ganking mid with Poppy is probably not going to be too easy for him. So you really want to be able to utilize walls, unless you can use some of those side walls around the mid lane itself. But going towards mid lane is not what they normally do now with Kikis. So I'm looking for him to go top lane. I want to see if he actually still wants to invade. Like, he is, in the early game, strong if he can actually land a full combo of E into a wall into Q. Like, the damage, you have to respect it. It's just not exactly a trundle or something walking in there, smacking you in the head. But the plan stays the same, despite what Yamato Cannon said. Top lane is where you can really shut down G2, and you have the tools with the Jarvan, the Poppy, and the Galio.
I'm very interested to see what that Poppy does in the later stages of the game. That steadfast presence, going to do so well into some of the dashes and tools that are on the G2 kit.
Yeah, because it's going to be really hard for Jankos to touch him, really. Like, if body slam forward, it gets interrupted, and then you don't really get in range of Kikis here. What a curveball!
Yeah, what a curveball indeed. And of course, for Vitality, they do have a little bit of breathing room, right? If Vitality lose this game, then they will take either third seed if G2 beat Schalke and they take second seed, or they'll be in those tiebreaker matches a little bit later. There is potentially 2 more games to be played if this round robin ends in 1-1 apiece. Sleepy Trouble Bubble will catch out Jazuke. He's going to get the taunt down for a second longer. The flash away, but you cannot escape the auto. Perks gets first blood.
Oh, the analyst has said we just want to see Jankos play around Perks in that mid lane, put Perks on a hard carry and get him ahead, and that's exactly what they did here. First gank so successful. Let's see if Kikis can change this here. He's only level 2, and as we said before, it can be very hard to get someone into the wall in mid unless Jankos walks in.
All right, Jankos does walk in, but the heroic charge doesn't find a stun. Kikis didn't get the angle, and that means Jazuke cannot follow up with a Justice Punch, so G2 with an early advantage.
What a difference compared to the game yesterday between these two teams. Jankos walked mid lane and died. Perks then died right after. It was 2-0 Vitality, but this time around, it's Jankos securing the first blood for his mid laner. Tizuke used his summoner, and now it is Perks with the advantage. I feel like Kikis is going bot lane here with all the pings as well. Yeah, he's on his way down. Now the vision is back.
All right, Hyonin gets stunned up. Wadid decides to jump back in. Gets that grand entrance, forcing the flash from Jackshall. Heroic charge into the wall.
There we go.
With the hammer shock and an auto until he gets 1 kill back by Vitality. Now Jazuke, he's found out Jankos. Winds of War as well as the Justice Punch. Sends Jankos below 100 HP. It's so tempting. It's so juicy. But Vitality don't take the bite. We'll go for the dive.
See, I like Poppy in the side lanes, where it's pretty easy to get them into that massive wall at the end of the map. Vitality quickly answered, just like the last game against Schalke. Whenever something backfired for them, they had a response, and it always resulted in a kill. This is a move around mid. Jizuke does not have vision. It is, of course, the T2 ward down here. And just by the bubble landing, of course, no cleanse, because he's running TP in the side of Galio. He ends up going down. So Perkz actually set up almost everything right there.
Managed to connect with everything, and that's why Perkz got first blood. Managed to get the play, managed to get the auto that chased it down.
Because what Jizuke could have done, like, he could have gone for Spellbook in this one, and at least he would have access to a cleanse if he needed it for something like this. But he went for Electrocute on his side, obviously, with the incoming AP build. The upfront burst is high. Just got to see if we can actually ever get onto Perkz.
Yeah, I'm taking a look down. It's only Jack Troll that's running Unsealed Spellbook. In the previous game, we had a couple more. And, of course, Vitality, the fact they got that kill back, and they're holding mostly even in the CS numbers. It is still an even gold game at 5 minutes. If you look at the minimap, you can see Caboshot pushing very, very heavily towards Wonder. As Wonder's now going to try and stall this lane a little bit. Leashing the minions, pulling them back. The bottom lane's pushing in favor of Vitality as well. So as far as the outer lanes are concerned, they're at least keeping G2 on the defensive and pushing them further back.
So mentioned on the bottom side as well, it's hard for the Zyra Khan lane to fully punish Israel and Braum. Oh, Jack Troll, not the greatest move right there.
No, he was just giving a small present to G2, you know. Sending a signal. I don't even need this shield, Hyanin, because you're not gonna hit me.
Look at me walk away.
Exactly.
Look at me.
With the swag move. Jack Troll already 1-0 on the day. I remember yesterday, they smashed G2. So
they did.
That's why Draco's called this the salty run back.
Yeah, important to highlight, Vitality's bot lane did not smash G2. They actually didn't really do a whole lot in that game. It was all about the jungle matchup initially. Kikis on the puppy. He's looking for that play top lane we highlighted in Champ Select, and I think Yankees needs to back away. Wonder, he's in trouble now.
Wonder's going to get jumped on by the heroic
no, he knocked him out.
Starts to get channeled down. Cataclysm by Jankos is decent. Sorry, the barrel, rather. And there's the chase up.
Perkz is here.
Kill. Wonder's already down. Here comes Perkz, though, looking for a reply. Kikis and Cabo are so low. Perkz is looking to jump over them, trying to dash forward, getting more spots as possible. The heroic charge dealt a lot of damage. Cabo flag, drag, dunk. And it's so far a 3-for-1 in favor of Vitality.
Wonder stayed forward, knowing that Perkz would show up and thinking they could turn this around, because they saw the play happen. They knew Kikis was coming in and a Galio could instantly join. But because Perkz didn't manage to actually get the first initial kill, he had to deal with 3 players.
100% kill participation again for Kikis. That time round, the heroic charge hit the correct target. And Exhaust is thrown down onto Hyanin, but Hyanin did turn it around the moment that wears off, and with all the feathers on the ground, Attila and Jack Troll got to respect it.
And once again, it's Kikis in the side lane, actually being able to utilize the Poppy jungle ganks. They are a lot stronger than I think a lot of people expected. Like, the base damage is high once you get the full combo off, and Wonder is at first baiting because Perkz is coming. They've seen Galio move as well, but the initial play into getting Jankos down is still fairly even because of how low the Vitality players are, but the first one does not kill Kikis, and then Perkz has to just walk through the minion wave in towards the wall, and yeah, he does get the kill, but he's taking too much damage, and suddenly Caboshot and Jizuke, despite no mana on the Galio, can actually get the kills.
If Cabo or Kikis had missed their CC abilities, the stun into the wall or the knock-up, that would have gone so different, but because they didn't panic or, you know, falter the skill shots, Vitality are 4 kills to 2. Everybody but Jack Troll has got themselves a kill on the board. And Vitality have got a 700 gold lead. If they take down G2 Esports, they win the battle for the bye. They take 2nd seed. And they guarantee themselves a showing in Madrid. And the reason we keep saying that, obviously, if they win the semi-final, they play in the finals. If they lose the semi-final, they play in the 3rd place game. Either way, they play in Madrid. And Vitality, confidence, momentum, happiness. This is a team that thrives off of it. Deficio, I'm seeing some pretty happy faces in the Vitality camp.
Oh yeah, this is the kind of start you want after you're already up 1-0 on the day. Jizuke is threatening.
Oh, he is indeed. He's doing more than threatening, Deficio. He's almost solo killed.
Right.
Kikis was waiting. Kikis was waiting for the charge. That was just beautiful.
Oh, what a nice little play around the mid lane. It feels like they can do anything right now, and this Poppy is looking really good.
I'm going to bring up an old hashtag that we used to have, Deficio. LCS big plays. That was fantastic from Kikis.
They're not done.
Now Jankos is under threat. He's going to flash over the wall. Kikis is flash available to him. I was expecting him to chase, but he decides against it in the last moment. And Vitality, at 10 minutes on the clock, are absolutely taking over the game. A similar thing happened yesterday.
No summoners from Perks. They were all used before, and he's already leveled down. He just takes so much damage. I feel like someone's going to die.
But definitely, that's why we've jumped out the replay. Wonder's the target, but here comes Kickers. Can pin Wonder against another wall. It does so! The Cataclysm from Cabo combos beautifully, and Kickers kills Wonder.
We're just learning. In the G2 versus Vitality matchup, G2 cannot match the early game of Vitality, and especially early game of Kickers specifically. He's so active around these two solo laners. They draft Ezreal Braum to say, we don't need you. Stay bot lane, do nothing.
Fisher, look at this gold graph from yesterday's game. It's looking eerily similar. 10 minutes on the clock now. Vitality 1,800 gold up. It eventually scaled to 14,000 gold lead. Start your clocks. Will Vitality hit 14k? That's my question to you, Fisher.
Let's see, let's see. I just wanted to see more Poppy. That's it. Kick is showing up big time.
Yep.
Obviously, also the jump for cover shot. Very successful last game. Same one in this one.
I'm actually a bit disappointed we didn't get to see the Kickers swag heroic charge. Just stood under the tower waiting for Perks' portal jump. You know, just saying, I dare you to move this way, bro. And of course he did so, and that's what allowed Kickers again to pick up a kill. I just find it so important to keep reiterating the 100% kill participation. It was true yesterday, it's true today. This is the man that has unlocked this new, updated Vitality.
He's going to try and completely deny the engage of G2 in this one with the Rakan, with the Gragas. Try and make it so painful for him to play the game. He's looking bot lane right now. That's TB from Cabershot as well.
Oh, this is so scary for Hyonin and Wadid. Steadfast presence interrupts Wadid. Now Wadid runs
TP
away with his life. Forced to flash. Cabo's looking to chase him down. Cataclysm is on cooldown. And now Attila gets his second kill of the game. It's the 7th for the team Vitality. And they will get some uncontested time on the tower.
And outside of that first blood in the mid lane, it's always Vitality first, forcing the play. They're the ones TPing into the bottom lane looking for this. It's just a counter TP coming in from one that gets cancelled almost instantly because they've lost the fight. They're trying now. Perks is on his way. Yanka's here.
Oh, very nice escape for Kickers, but now uses the heroic charge now. No, manages to sidestep the knockup. It's 2 quick kills for G2. That was all set up by Yankos. He killed the minion wave, and the barrel secures the 3rd. G2, they're not done, they're not out, and they're only behind 300 gold.
Yeah, very big turnaround right there. G2 might lose the mid lane turret, but they just picked up a bunch of kills bot lane. A lot of them went over to Perks on the Zoe. And they get a bot lane turret as well. So suddenly a big play from G2. But they were looking like they're almost done in this game. But no. They will actually get something back.
All right, so how will G2 find more opportunities? This was, of course, the start of the play and a very good proactive TP here. And what did? They bought a lot of time. But of course, it's the back half of the fight that really mattered. Vitality committed for that tower first blood. Yankos killing that minion wave really did a lot of work.
But they stay after the rest of the team walks to mid lane, and that's when G2 find an opening to get back in here. TP coming in from Yana as well, but the same for Matic, because Perks has already killed everyone. And they will, of course, get Jack Troll down towards the end. Suddenly, it's a very even game. Despite Vitality actually getting some initially very good fights, we suddenly get to the point now where G2 have even out the gold.
Okay, so what happens for the next few minutes? There's a tower down bottom
More
lane.
action definitely will happen.
Versus the tower down mid lane. So Perks in a little bit more discomfort. But for Vitality, they really want Jizuke moving. So that fact that mid lane's down is a good sign for the Vitality squad.
Yeah, I think we might still see the top lane tower dive against Wonder. Luckily, he still has the flash on his side. Cabershot is now invading with Kickis, and we have to remember Kickis is doing very well in the game here and actually has a lot of damage. Also is running Electrocute in this game here, so not a defensive choice on his side. He just wants to maximize
is Wonder
damage.
In trouble?
Yes, he is in trouble.
All right, how many percentage chance will Wonder die?
I would say 90%.
All right, 90% chance he will die. Teleport coming down from Vitality. Heroic charge knocks him backwards. Kickers, no access to the ultimate. Here comes Jack Troll. Jizuke's done nothing, and with 10% odds, Wonder escapes. You know, he didn't even use his flash.
Yeah, Cabershot never actually forced him to flash either. Like, you could have just blown an ulti to get him to flash away, but I guess 10% was enough to get out of that one.
Let's see whether or not any more odds are in G2's favor. Yankos and Perks slow down Vitality enough for Wadid and Hyana to get a lot of damage on that mid tower, and now we're in a little bit of a standoff.
It's actually huge that Wonder just managed to walk out of that one. Could have been a flash blow and potentially dying in a top lane turret, but instead it's G2 now sieging mid.
All right, look at this tower. There's the engage from the quickness and the grand entrance. Jizuke looks for the shield of Durant. There's the flag, drag, dunk, but there's no one dragging yet. Now the hero's entrance coming down from Jizuke. That shuts down Wadid. Vitality aren't done yet. They're not able to find a tag, so they cannot continue the chase.
Quick little ARAM around the mid lane, and G2 went for the tower dive with that engage from Wadid. Just didn't have the damage actually to take down anyone, and a quick turnaround on the turret, giving Vitality a kill. And while that happened, Attila got the bot lane turret, then TP'd in mid right after that, so Vitality actually ended up getting quite a big advantage from that little play.
Yeah, they reclaimed that gold lead that they lost 5 minutes ago. Back up to 1800-ish gold. They hold on to their tower, which I think is very important. And looking at the mini-map, Jankos doesn't stick around on the Herald, but it is still available for taking, at least for the next couple of minutes.
All right, let's see the play around mid lane. It's after Wonder survived in the top lane, he's walking to join his team, and Wadid just sees a double engage, and he goes in. Sadly for him, they don't have enough follow-up damage instantly to actually kill someone, and Vitality get a kill in return.
All right, that's the 8th that Vitality were able to pick up. The tower really helping out. You can see the damage numbers from their last team fight. 9,804 is not a lot to speak of. Coming out of that team fight, though, a couple of item breakpoints have landed. Triforce secured for Attila. Hyana's been sitting on his Stormrazor and Zeal for a little while. 2 minutes, Jizuke has had that Rod of Ages versus the Ludens for perks. So we're starting to scale into that 1-2 itemization point. That's going to allow these teams to secure some more of those picks. It's Vitality that look to secure an uncontested Rift Herald.
Yeah, and having the Zoe as the Fed member is obviously great for G2 as long as they actually get time to try and poke with perks. All in fights, Vitality are looking to get to him every single time. Let's see what happens around the Herald.
All right, Keeper's Verdict was thrown out, didn't find a target. The last few seconds of the secure, G2 made it in. They didn't fully commit to the interrupt, didn't fully commit to a fight.
Because they're getting mid lane turret.
Got the tower instead, so trading it debt deferred. If Vitality can use that Herald well, they'll at least be able to bounce back. But it's 2-2 in towers.
It's been another one of those games for G2 we've seen a lot lately where we're looking at Yanan as one of the big late game carries and not Wonder, who's again on a tank. And his job was actually just to survive in this game. And while he's died twice, the last time he did survive was a pretty big deal for them. They now eventually got them that mid lane turret they were working on before.
What is the rest of the comp do, Fisho? If you know, you're looking at Hyana for sort of late game carry, I kind of understand Vitality and how they're going to work together as a 5-man. What does G2 want to do?
I mean, I think so much of it is now around the Zoe specifically. Like, you're actually not necessarily looking for an instant fight if you're G2 because you want to try and land a bubble into a potential one-shot from Perk's side. But if it is an all-in engage, that's where if you're jumping forward as G2, you need to remember you don't have any peel then for your backline. And the backline will get attacked by Poppy, Jarvan, and Galio every single time. So G2 really need to find out how they actually want to engage. And I think a lot of it comes down to Perks landing that crucial hit first.
Got it.
Then you know you can one-shot a target. If you land a bubble first and follow up by with a Recon engage, someone dies,
yeah.
like 100%. But you got to be patient because that's the thing about Zoe. Insane poke, but it's so focused around landing that poke on just that one, one single target, and you just need to wait for cooldowns all the time. She's not the big Orianna ulti kind of mage where you can just go for all-in engages all the time.
Yeah, definitely the case. And for G2, it's making sure it's on their terms, making sure they can utilize the strengths of that Zoe and maybe set up for a team fight for Hyana and Wadid. But the one thing I just want to mention is that G2 today are looking much more competitive than yesterday. Kickers has not completely ruled G2 out of the game. Yes, Vitality have a lead, and yes, Vitality have an advantage, but by 18 minutes yesterday, there was no hope for G2, and today I feel like there are some opportunities for them to come back into this game, and of course, this is just the first game for G2. They still have to play Schalke after this, pending whatever this result is.
Yeah, there's hope. It's just going to be so hard for them to play the fights. You have to remember also the Xayah ulti does not get you out of things like a Jarvan ult. You actually just jump up in the air, and then you jump right back. So Vitality can wait for you to return to the ground and then kill you.
How do you jump back to the ground while you're flying?
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
I guess you fall down.
I would have preferred that personally, you know.
I mean, in video games, you can probably jump in the air.
Yeah, there's not a double jump in ours, no. At least not on
yet.
Zaya. At least not on Zaya.
I don't know.
There we go. Certainly T. Not yet. Give us a double.
Yeah, that's the next one.
All right. Kickers, going to use that passive. Hits Wonder with a buckler. And then Heroic charge to the face. Interesting investment on the verdict.
And by interesting, you mean not necessary.
Yeah, but I'll let you say that one. I'm not going to make such a bold claim. Don't really know what Kickers was hoping to do. In the end, it just means it's unavailable for a potential team fight. Vitality grouping up for this bottom in a turret. And G2, they're late to the party, but they want to defend it. Take a look at Wonder. He's going, not down yet. Manages to survive. How on earth is he alive? Wonder is still ticking, is still roaring. Wonder walks away, and it's just Zuke that dies. Now Yenka looking for the flash body slam. G2 are chasing down Vitality. And Wonder is watching, smiling, laughing. Wadid unable to find the knockup, but here comes Cabo. Cataclysm available to him. Big chunk of damage onto Wadid, but the Sleepy Trouble Bubble slows down Jack Scholl's advance. Until is now running away, and Perks manages to take him out. G2 kills against Vitality.
Vitality, they thought they had it down bot lane, instantly getting killed into Wonder, but it didn't actually happen, and suddenly they found 5 G2 members showing up and just surprising them. Let's see. The setup is 3 players. Right now, Kabashat is top lane, and Kikis is coming down, not joining the initial tower dive. He just, the Q just missed by an inch against him, and now 5 G2 members. Kabashat is just TPing in at this very moment. He was expecting them to one-shot the Cho'Gath. He didn't need to join instantly. But the moment Wonder stays alive by a second, and you're still stuck under that turret.
And imagine if Kikis had his ultimate for that retreat. Yeah, would have saved Jack Troll's life at least. Regardless, Wonder stays alive, and G2 get 2 extremely important kills, and it buys them more time to scale into this later game.
Oh, and they saw the kill. They were under the turret already. They were hard committing. And while Kikis, I think he managed to interrupt at least some of them ability from Wadid. It wasn't the actual engage, so Wadid still got onto the back line of Vitality under that turret and killed every single one. Let's see what happens now for G2 Esports. They're still slightly down in gold, but not enough for it to really matter. Shizuke is in the side lane. It's not the rise from yesterday, from last game, sorry, not yesterday. It feels like it was ages ago.
There's so much happening,
From last
it does feel like
game, you don't have to respect the split push this time as much.
No.
You have to respect the all-in, however, still of the Javan plus Galio.
Yeah, especially when you see the build. Roa almost fully stacked. Luden's Echo is a second item for Jizuke, so those Winds of War are going to be doing a lot of damage, in fact, especially when comboed with Electrocute and some of the other engage power, you know, throw on the Cataclysm, True Shot Barrage, etc. For G2 Esports, though, touching distance, 1,000 gold down at 20 minutes, 2 items starting to be picked up, Storm Razor and Rapid Fire Cannon for Hyanin, a little bit of components for sort of Wonder and Perks, starting to add up to more power. And who's going to have the advantage when we start playing around Baron? I really like Vitality's opportunity to fight around Baron, but
That's kind of the way for them to win. They're fighting bot lane.
they are indeed. Wonder's going to get locked in with the Cataclysm this time round. Kabashot decides to pull the trigger. There's no flash for Wonder, but look how long he's surviving. Maybe long enough for a teleport to be channeled, but cancelled. That was Hyanin that decided to remove that one. The rest of G2 were going to arrive simply too late. Vitality get an easy pick off.
And this time, they kill the Cho'Gath in time. Even checking or killing the wave on top side.
It does make me nervous how long it takes. You know, even in, what was it, 2-on-1, 3-on-1 scenario, Vitality took such a long time to get through that Wonder HP bar.
Well, as long as you're not getting something else on the map, you have time. That's a bot lane turret falling as well. I think one of the things Wonder would love to have is a stopwatch for himself at the moment, just for these kind of setups, if he's going to continue sitting in a side lane, because we see how slowly they kill him. Just a little bit awkward for him to actually build it, because he obviously wants to start getting towards more tank items on his side. Vitality's still in control. We'll have to execute around the Baron and not just rely on winning through split push this time, and that is a difference from the last game.
Well, we know they played the split push game very well. Now we get to evaluate their Baron baits and team fights and peels. Talk to me about Cabo's build. What do you think? He's definitely gone pretty all-in, Titanic, Black Cleaver.
That's very standard so far.
Do you want him to go tank now?
I mean, he will eventually start building towards it. We obviously also know that things like a GA can work in these kind of builds where you are a bruiser, but you're building a lot of damage item first. But he's not that squishy at the moment, and he's only really dealing with Jan, and he's not scared of perks at the moment. Baron being started.
Of course, that control ward cancelling out the vision the vision ward for G2. G2 are sort of aware of it. They're making their way down. Glacial Fish has been used. Baron's down to 2,500, and Yankos is sent flying and packing. Now, of course, the Baron will be the focus. Is secured. Kikis smites it down, but at what cost? Now Kikis trying to interrupt. Jizuke gives his life for the team. Continues to bait and slow down G2, but 3 members of the team have Baron on them.
Quick call here from Vitality. We've often criticized them for the Baron play, but this one was actually very, very good. They knew G2 would be far away once they started, and they had things like Bromold and Poppy ult to try and stop G2 from getting in range. Yankos had no chance of stealing this one. Vitality stay in control despite losing 2 players, because now with this Baron buff here, they should be able to get the last out of turrets.
And of course, thinking back to Yamato's interview, inspired by Chachi, it was a very similar play, saving the Baron invading. Here's a replay of the setup.
And Kikis also is an old top laner.
There we go.
So it's not weird for him to play here. So it's just with all the tools they have to actually stop Yankos from getting in. I think Yankos tried to ult to potentially interrupt the Poppy ult from Kikis, and then he could get in range, but there was a massive Braum shield in the way.
Yeah.
Instantly got denied. And yeah, sure, you might lose a couple of guys on the outside, but huge improvements from Vitality, actually getting down this Baron so quickly.
And the question is, will they win that battle for the buy? I'm going to ask you guys to vote. Jump into chat and vote for me. Yes or no? Will Vitality win the battle for the buy? They can do it by knocking out G2 right now, or winning the 2 extra tiebreaker games once we determine that seed. Yes or no? Jump into chat and I will reveal your results in a moment or two. For now, back to the game, and Deficio, Vitality, they're sieging with Baron.
Vitality right now are trying so hard to actually get down the last out of turrets and potentially a fight before Yanin gets IH, and just as I said it, he just completed it, which means now he is actually a legit late game threat. Because one of the things that happens with things like Java and Galio Poppy is like, your damage at this point in the game is very high, and you can obviously completely destroy an AD carry if you get to him, but the further we get into the game, the more time G2 has to actually get some defensive items to protect Yanin. It gets harder for these guys, the big bruisers, to actually kill the backline. And it's kind of what G2 are hoping for. I'm not sure they get there in time, because Vitality have ways to start team fights and can just keep forcing, but the IH completion is big.
Well, Vitality with a 2,000 gold lead with Baron, a couple of members, and 53% of the fans at home expecting them to win the battle of the buy. They are the ones in control for now. And they are the ones that have the option or the ability to close this out. Let's see if they can execute on it.
Yeah, and I talked about potential defensive items from G2. Well, they're actually not going for it just yet. And the ones I mean is like the supportive defensive ones, because they're going for Shirelius here. VIT actually has more ways to try and engage and start the fight. So he's trying to reach that backline of Vitality, but that's not really where the fight is won. It's actually by you stopping Galio, Jarvan, and Poppy from destroying Perks and Yanin.
Yankos has committed his ultimate, but look at Jizuke, look at the Cataclysm! Vitality want to win the battle right now! They've got themselves 2 kills. Yes, they've lost Jack Troll, but it doesn't matter. They've broken open the base, and maybe they've broken the backs of G2. It's a 5,000 gold lead. Vitalities have super minions in multiple lanes, and they've used this Baron buff fantastically. Jizuke's trying to get away, trying to bait G2, and he's going to escape for now. But there was no hesitation on that dive.
Exactly, and one of the questions yesterday in the post-game lobby was, okay, how can Vitality make sure they just continue winning? What kind of drafts are they always looking for? And it was highlighted very clearly, easy ways to force team fights, because that's how they've still won most of their games in the summer split, when they can group and pull the trigger. Java and Galio Poppy gives them so many ways of always getting to Yanin. It's taunt from Jizuke into all-in from the Poppy and the Jarvan, and there's just no way out. And that's the thing about Vitality. When they're ahead, they never stop forcing. They're not the kind of team to just dance around and be like, nah, we're a little bit insecure, we're not sure. No, like, oh, that guy, slide out of position, bam, 3 people are in there. And they do it together. So that's why whenever they run with proper engage in their comms, when they get in group, they do this.
And that means Vitality are 1 Nexus away from a trip to Madrid. They close this game out, they guarantee that second seed. Schalke are sitting backstage as the biggest G2 eSport fans right now, because if G2 do not bounce back, then G2 and Schalke will be playing for that 3rd, 4th decider in the very next game.
Biggest G2 fans, biggest H2K haters.
Absolutely.
As well, because this actually should have been Schalke already in the 2nd place spot with how the results played out yesterday. if they just beat H2K, the bottom team in the EU LCS. But when they lost that, they were forced into this tiebreaker. And Vitality, as the winners of yesterday's games, they are very happy right now. They just continue doing it. Currently looking great against G2 Esports. Already took down Schalke today. Let's see if they can actually finish this. One more big team fight, where we get that all in engage, and the game should be over. No flash from Daisuke though, so he can't go for the same play.
All right, it's 29 minutes of game time. Vitality do not have Baron. It will be respawning in 1 minute and 45 seconds, and you can see the gold lead. While it is not as definitive as yesterday's game, it still shares a similar shape, with Vitality accelerating ahead. Vitality's going to get some time on this mid in a turret, and G2 have decided to defend their inhibitor turrets.
And I'm just trying to think, like, how can G2 actually force a fight if Perks does not land great combos like that now?
The Gragas barrel, but Vitality are backing away. Jizuka hasn't used the ultimate just yet, and there's so many low HP bars on Vitality. Jack Troll and Kickers are trying to back away. Jizuki's locked down and locked out. That's a kill. It's Hyun and iEdge that manages to make the difference. There is a reply from Attila, though. Here comes Perks. Jack Troll should be burning down. He survives a few seconds longer and stays alive. Manages to escape with his life, and G2 Esports, they get one at the cost of one.
So even with the setup, oh, that one just missed here, but even with the setup under the turret, where Vitality did not get the great combo off, G2 ends up going 1-for-1 in the fight. Because again, they can reach the backline of Vitality, but that's an Ezreal. They can't always deny the engage. This time around, because it's on the turret and Perks actually managed to step back, the engage is not there. Galio ult is not used by Jizuke in the fight itself, and this was basically the perfect G2 setup and almost the worst Vitality one, and it's 1-for-1.
If I saw that correctly, I think Perks was hit by the verdict.
In his ult.
In his ult.
Yes.
So even though he was
back.
meant to fly much further, he came back to his original starting point. And of course, how pivotal that could have been, because he managed to chase, managed to help get a little bit more damage on the way out. So Vitality, that's just put the brakes on ever so slightly.
Yeah, but it was still 1-for-1, right?
Yeah.
The only thing they kind of missed out on was getting mid in him. They are going to have Flash on Daisuke very soon. They're going to be ready to go for another Taunt Flash fight. Yanan Flash is available. He has QSS to try and get out of it. But as I highlighted earlier, they're not building a lot of defensive items for him. There's no Locket, Knight's Vow, these kind of things. It's actually just him on his own, because with Deed, he's trying to get onto Vitality and fight them with this build.
All right, let's see whether they can do it for Vitality. The game is in their control. GA was picked up by Caboshot. Deathcap was picked up by Jizuke.
And still want to highlight one moment where Perks lands the bubble into a queue. G2 might get Baron. Like, that opening is still there with this Zoe on 3 items. But if it doesn't happen, let's see it, bot side.
All right, Wonder's got over 4,000 HP. It'll take a little while to take him down, but take a look at this. Cataclysm is thrown down. Stone Plate has been used. Wonder continues to take a hammering, and Perks makes his way out. Flag and drag comes up, no flash for Wonder, he's already used the feast. Now Perks looking for the Paddle Star and the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. That's a flash into the bush! Oh, the Paddle Star falls ever so short.
Started.
Now Baron has been started by Vitality. Paddle Star comes out. Cabo's now trying to buy time. He will be the sacrifice for Vitality. GA keeps him alive and slows down G2. We need to keep our eyes on the minimap because G2 are looking to challenge the Baron. Cabo goes golden. He's used that stopwatch. Still alive for a few seconds longer. Baron's at 50%.
Yeah, Jizuka can TP now. He just recalled, so he's joining full HP at the Baron.
And he's got his ultimate
surrounded by Baron.
Yarnan and Wadid is going to help out. And the Baron is secured. Vitality pick it up. And G2 Esports have super minis on the Nexus.
Yeah, G2, they know. The moment you invest 3 players on bot side to deal with Jarvan and the Galio, you lose Baron. Vitality couldn't really do anything wrong right there as long as they just walked in and started the big objective. And then they do secure it, and it looked a little bit funny. Kick he was ready with the hammer, and then Baron's like, whoop, nope.
Interrupted
Didn't
that
matter.
one. Vitality's decisiveness this game over the last 10 minutes has been impressive. They've tower dove effectively. Yes, they got caught out in the mid lane, but as soon as that fight started bottom, instantly on the Baron.
And you know what, Trevor? I know Fnatic got first place, but based on the last couple of weeks, Vitality are actually looking like the best team. Their current form and how they're able to play out these games now against G2, Schalke, some of the other top teams, what they did yesterday against G2 as well, what they actually did against Fnatic when they played a couple of weeks ago. The moment these guys get a draft where Kickers can be active in the early game, Also the case with the Poppy, because you can gank so
Apparently the
effectively.
champion doesn't matter is what I'm starting to learn.
Well, as long as you can gank or invade, there you go. You have something you can do. The team can get early leads and then start playing the map right after. There's been some good Baron plays in this one. Let's see if they can get an engage. He's looking.
Sleepy Trouble doesn't find a target, and Kikis was on the front line. He's got that steadfast presence to interrupt any of those dashes or tools that G2 want to throw down. Now remember, when Flash was available for Jizuke, he went under the tower with Grand Entrance and that taunt. He's not with the team right now, and Flash is on cooldown, so it's going to be a little more difficult to pull off that big tower dive. Deficio, Vitality have got an 8k gold lead. They're sieging multiple lanes.
Let's see. Can they get onto Attila and maybe take him down in time? I don't think so. He actually has Headstringer.
All right, keeps verdict this time round, interrupted by the quickness. A lot of damage coming down, and the Grand Entrance will land. Gets a knockup, but Yarnen's already got himself 2 kills. Jizuke's looking for one dead. That's Saya. That's Yarnen dead as well. Now Jizuke's managed to get inside the base, and Attila is simply untouched. He's simply unkilled, and he's looking for Perks. Perks goes golden and will stay alive a few seconds longer before Attila will take him out. Wonder is the last man standing, and Vitality, it is just a matter of time. They are inside the base, and they are already celebrating. The team that placed 4th in spring have made a substitution in summer. They have had a phenomenal end to the summer split, and Vitality have won the battle for the bye and booked their tickets to Madrid.
Great game. And some awesome, awesome team fights from Vitality. We kept talking about the bruisers in the front and what they would do.
Yes.
Attila was just sitting in the back every single fight, dealing a ton of damage.
I want you to go on record again, Deficio. Is this the best performing team in Europe?
Current form, yes.
1, 2, 3.
Wow, that's a statement. It's difficult to argue against. Every time a question has been asked in the last weeks with Kikis, it has been answered with a resounding, I'm gonna win everything.
Straight into the semi-final, you get another week to prepare, you get to watch the quarterfinals, and you know if you're Vitality, you're looking at that final against Fnatic. That's the one you're looking at. Fnatic has said multiple times, they're a bit scared.
Yes.
Because Vitality, they do some unpredictable things in the early game, and now we're actually seeing much better late games from them as well.
And apparently, even when you mess up in the draft with Poppy Jungle, apparently it'll work. Now, I will call that statement into question, seeing how good Kikis was on that champion, with the exception of a couple of ultimates. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what was happening. And ladies and gentlemen, Vitality win the battle for the bye. They are your second best team during the regular season, and they have booked their tickets to Madrid. Now, the next game will determine who faces whom in the quarterfinals, Schalke and G2. Losing means that you are the potential lowest seed.
Also means we only have one game remaining. There will be no chance of more. But yeah, if you get the lowest seed here, you will of course be dealing suddenly with Misfits in your quarterfinal. And while that might not look too scary now, there's a high chance you end up playing against Fnatic as the #1 seed.
And of course, the way that it works, assuming the #3 seed, whether that's Schalke or G2, beats Splice, that means whoever wins the 4th, 5th battle will be the lowest seed that advances to semi-finals, and they will face Fnatic. If somehow Splice finds some form and are able to take down Schalke and G2, then they will be facing Fnatic as the lowest seed.
That's always the key thing now. We have a week until the quarterfinals.
Yes.
Teams have more time, and it's going to be best of 5. So there's a lot of adaptation. And I think if you are a Fnatic fan and you see this Vitality team, sure, you know, you might actually be a little bit scared.
Yes.
But your team also has 2 weeks now, and we know Fnatic, when they play at their best, look absolutely insane as well.
Yesterday, when Vitality faced G2, you predicted Vitality to win. Is that correct? Today, you told me that they are pretty likely to go 2-0, and they did.
And they did.
And 55% of you guys at home jumped into chat and said that Vitality will win the battle for the bye. Congratulations, you called it, along with Superior Analyst. So with that win, that's it. Vitality, they've locked in that trip to Madrid, either in 3rd place or finals. They will be attending another stadium match. That'll take place on the 8th and 9th of September. You guys can get tickets to come see us and Vitality and Fnatic there, eu.lollysports.com/Madrid. We also have some viewing parties around the world. Deficio, can you read the URL for me?
No, go ahead, please.
All right, www.leagueoflegendsincinemas.com. Deficio can't read, apparently. For more on Vitality's win, let's head over to the analyst desk.
That's a truly tragic quick shot. I hope that Deficio learns how to read, but while he's working on that one, we can talk about the insanity that was G2 versus Vitality. Now, before you guys say anything, let's take a look at that final fight one more time, because we thought this might be the turning point, and didn't really work out that way.
I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this is it. G2 going to win another late game fight. Just look at the engage that you get from Wadid. It was extremely clean. It interrupted the ulti from Kikis, and you're thinking, this looks great. 2 kills. And then Jizuke, he just obliterates 2 members. You then have Kabashard coming off the back end as well. Oh, man, it was beautiful to see from Vitality. The big carries coming up huge and solidifying the win for Vitality.
Yeah. However,
there's a however in that.
However, in this play, Hjanen had both QSS and Flash up, and you don't have to think of Guardio as a tank. That's like the mistake. This guy
ran Electrocute.
Rabadon Electrocute, you know, that's like a Syndra is teleporting into the fight and it just appears in front of you. It's not like, I'm just going to tank it up, you know. Like, you should have QSS and just go out of there. And yes, they were winning the fight G2 until they lost it. But props, you know, to Vitality. They play those, like, pressure team comps where you, if you don't make one single move that's wrong, you're just gonna die. And Hjanen made the move, so yeah.
And I was surprised. I looked at this composition, and I to you guys, we're also kind of commenting on this too. I was like, where does the damage come from? I see.
Yeah, I was like, is there any good damage on this composition?
Is Cho'Gath just never gonna die in the late game? And we saw it was a struggle to kill a Cho'Gath. It took a long time, admittedly, but everybody else died super quick. So props to Vitality for executing it. But how do you feel about this comp in general?
We were saying during the draft, either team could win this game. Because we didn't agree with the drafts really much at all. When I saw like this Poppy with a Galio, I was like, where's their engage coming from? You need follow-up. You need a way to start it so the Galio can follow up. He's not really the engage tool. But then I was thinking about it, okay, now they have to go Jarvan, now they have no damage, but then they just went full AP Galio, then they had a carry top laner in the Jarvan, and it does seem like they were able to make up for what looked like a damage lackluster comp.
It did. It worked out for them very well. Now, I've heard we have some very excited Vitality members sitting down with Medic right now to talk about everything that just went down and their bye.
Thank you very much. I'm joined by Kikis, Attila, and Mini Trupax? No, not Mini Trupax, Jizuke. Every time I look at Attila, I think of Mini Trupax. And the last time we were sitting on this couch, I was actually congratulating you guys on, I think it was beating Schalke in Challenger Series last split. So that's what I'm going to blame that misstep on. I apologize, guys. Congratulations so much on getting second spot. Coming into today, did you guys feel that this was the reality?
Yeah, I think we just used the momentum we had before. We won. We had a 2-0 week, and we felt really strong. We only lost 1 game since I came, and everyone just is really confident in each other, and we have full trust. And yeah, like we're all really strong players, and we just play out of each other's strengths.
It sounds a little bit braggy from you, Kikis, to be like, oh, we've only lost 1 game since I came. I'm the reason we're winning. But the team has had a huge transformation since you've come. What is it that you brought to the team that's changed things around?
I think I'm just really consistent, and also I'm an aggressive jungler that I don't really see that playstyle in anyone else, in EU at least. I guess maybe like from other regions, even though I don't watch it closely, Spirit has the same kind of playstyle and idea about the game. So yeah, I think me like doing the early game plan for like first 5, 10, 15 minutes, like depending on the game, just makes our games really stable, and I'm capitalizing on every enemy mistake in early game that they do.
It seems that the early game has really stepped up for Vitality. It helps when you have such good players on your team, people like Attila, people like Jizuke as well. Attila, I want to direct my next question to you. Recently, we've seen you beat Hans Summer on his own signature pick. We've seen you beat Hjanen as well. And upset even today, you just demolished him. Do you think now that you're the best AD carry in Europe?
I mean...
Come on.
You can say it, man. You can be proud.
No, I mean, I always said I will beat anyone. Doesn't matter the name, right? But every game is a game. I think, like, for example, Upset has stepped up really huge this game and this split. And I really enjoy playing against him. And Reckless, I haven't faced him yet. But, yeah, I'm definitely, like, on the top. And I just want to show it on playoffs now.
Is that purely you, or do you think that Jack Troll has a big influence in that lane as well?
Yeah, I mean, Jack Troll, ever since Korea bootcamp, like, we face so many Chinese teams. Like, Chinese teams are crazy. They are only diving you, you know. So we learned their way as well, and we can play really aggressive now. And I think Jack Troll stepping up really helped me as well. to be more aggressive and be more myself on the laning phase. And after it's just, I've always been good in mid game, I think so.
Yeah, both of you definitely stepping up as a bot lane at the moment. Jizuke, you're one of the most emotional players I've ever seen in the European LCS. We see you hooping and hollowing and screaming. In the middle of the split, you kind of had a downtrend in your form. What is it that's now brought you up to sort of this high level again?
Like, I think people just compare myself to Spring Split Jizuke. And just Spring Split Jizuke, I wanted to show what I had, my mechanics, and I just wanted to show up every single game. Well, now I just want to win. So I just do everything the team needs to win. And for example, the last 2 games, the team needed to win, and there weren't a lot of options. I did a few outplays, and we won the game out of that. So if Spring Split Jizuke is needed, I just pop off. If it's not, I will not take unnecessary risks. I think Brox and Xerx last split in playoffs and the third place match, they teach me a lot. They punished my playstyle really hard. And from there, I just evolved as a player. And I think that even right now, I'm pretty underrated. Like, I think people don't realize what I do in the team. Like, I have mid prio every single time, or I can decide to solo kill, or I can do whatever. So people saying that I underperform, I really don't understand it.
I think you are definitely performing pretty well. And I want to come back to that because you talked about last year's playoffs, and both you and Attila were in that 3rd, 4th place match in Copenhagen. How did it feel for you guys to get so close to, you know, the top 2 and then falter in the final hurdles?
Well, I thought in Spring Split we will be rank 1, to be fair, and I thought we would have the highest seed. So going from rank 1 to, oh, maybe we were rank 2, to maybe we were rank 4, it was really hard. So you said I'm an emotional person. Like, I shed some tears there because I was like, what actually happened? Like, we had the control of everything, and then, but I guess like Misfits as well, 9-0 into 1-7. I don't know what
2 and 7, I think.
Yeah, like I think just we lost that 1 game, and then it snowballed, and we lost every game, and we just had to control it. Instead, we didn't. So, yeah.
So from that low, we've gone to the high now. You're 2nd place. You're going to Madrid, definitely. Maybe getting into that final as well. We heard on the desk that Deficio said he thinks you guys might be the best team in Europe right now. We're going to run down the line. Jizuke, are you better than Fnatic right now?
I'm not a good guy. You can ask Attila.
Attila, you better than Fnatic?
By far.
Kickus, are you better than Fnatic right now?
Far by.
Far by. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Let's hand it back to Dracos, guys. Take it away.
Thank you, Sk.
Thank you very much, Medic. By
Thank you, H2K.
Far by. Far by. Thank you, H2K.
Every combination of those 2 words.
Every upset that led to this moment, thank you. It was an exciting road for Vitality. Vitality can be
Still have more fights left to go, though, D.
But that's the truth. It's not the end of the day, folks. All is not done. Remember, just because the team has secured the 2nd seed, there is still a fight going on for 3rd seed. Now, that's important. It means you will be going against Splice. Loser will play Misfits. It's Schalke versus G2. 1 final round. Winner take all, or at least 3rd seed in this case. Now, we saw both of these teams lose to Vitality. Very different games overall. Yeah. But what are we expecting now heading into this match? What do we expect to be the difference maker if either of these teams wants to come out on top?
It's a little bit difficult. I think that G2 here, even later on in the game, had still chances to win, but they were just outbodied or out-muscled by Vitality. They just went in, and there was really not an answer. And I think in a slower game, maybe G2 and Schalke, both of them actually like those kind of slower games more. I think just stylistically, Vitality was like rock, paper, scissors, and, you know...
They were rock.
Everyone else in the league is scissors. They're always
and they're like, oh, you drafted scissors? Unlucky! And I think that's kind of the story of today so far for Vitality. They're looking great so far. And moving into this next matchup, as you rightly said, it's scissors v scissors. They're going to keep drawing against each other. The ultimate question is who drafts paper. And when we think about some of the key players that have been stepping up, Upset down the bottom lane is still an individual that we're looking at. We do feel like that he played well in the first game of the day, but they weren't able to have a huge impact because they did fall behind in the early stages, and they kind of got split apart in the 1-3-1. And Perks, he's definitely another person that we're keeping our eyes on coming into this game. He had a great performance on the Zoe, but because of the early deficits that they found themselves in, they really weren't able to utilize the strength that he found.
And I really think that both teams right now need to look for redemption, because both of the losses against Vitality, I think people were underperforming, and I really want to see more from Upset and Hjarnan, because I think Hjarnan had the ability to carry the team fights and did not. I think Upset was the same on Ezreal, was so far ahead in gold, I think like 2,000 gold or something, like didn't capitalize on this. Chachi was somebody who we are also looking to, you know, having star performance, doing the best play ever with the Poppy, and generally being so strong. So, and Perks as well, it was somebody that we expected a lot from. I think especially those 4 people have a lot to redeem themselves for, and I think that will be very important going forward as well, to have the self-confidence to say, you know, we won this game, I performed well going into playoffs, I'm ready.
All right, well, it might not count for Superior Analyst, or at least the race going into playoffs, but I want some predictions anyway. We just heard from Sheepy. We'll get in a lock-in for you in a moment. But Vedius, who do you think is actually going to take it? Which of these underperformers do you think is going to step up, G2 or Schalke?
I feel like G2 is going to perform largely because right now the pressure is on for 3rd place. I think that because Vitality performed above and beyond, right now the pressure is going to get to Schalke. Considering they were in contention for that 1st place spot, they were sitting tied so close to Fnatic for so long. Now they realize that they're going to drop to 4th, and a part of me just feels that that pressure is getting to them, and a large part of why G2 will come out on top is because of Perks in the mid lane. I think Jankos is performing better. Stylistically, this is better for G2, and I think that they'll find the win.
All right, Sheep, do you agree, G2, or is it going to be Schalke?
I feel like the same for Schalke as well. Like, I think that stylistically, you know, Schalke has like a lot of positives that they will bring out into the match of G2, and I think that especially for the bot lane, I think Schalke is just, as a team, more cohesive when it goes into the slower games. They really are good at setting up those kind of team fights, especially because it's their forte. I think that's the only thing that they're really strong at, is those kind of team fight setups where amazing plays like a Sejuani or whatnot just throws in the ultimate and sets up the entire team to carry, Chachi coming in from a flank. And I think that will happen as well in the game if they are going to win. And if anything else, you know, G2, maybe they get a little bit of bite, you know, from losing the games. They really want to show up. I think they have this kind of personalities where they're like, you know, we lost the game, I really want to win now. And yeah, it will be definitely super interesting game going forward. I think both teams have a lot to show.
All right, well, I'm not going to talk about the predictions graphic. We'll just leave that for what it is. I also predicted Schalke. I believe in the Schalke late game in a slower game.
I like the Unicorns of Love there.
There you go, baby.
That would be the upset of the century if they start winning this game.
That would not be allowed. People would be very upset with that, I think. That would be some WWE level of twist. We're not that, I promise.